Yesterday, if you watched yesterday's, we've talked about so far, we have talked about knowing your numbers. We've talked about using third-party tools. So today I wanted to talk about how to invite to utilize that third-party tool. And more importantly, like we usually use an opportunity event or a sneak peek as the majority of our third-party tool. So I wanted to talk tonight about how I go about inviting people in different scenarios. So if you guys have questions or you have a scenario where you're like, I just really don't know how to invite this person or what would I say, let me know. So the third-party tool we talked about is awesome because you don't have to vomit all over them. You don't have to vomit information. The only thing you have to get comfortable and really get the balls to do is to ask them to go. So I really like to, anytime I ask people for anything, I like to ask them, hey Jack, I like to ask them in a format where they're going to say sure or yeah, why not? Because it's easier that way, right? So I try not to give them the opportunity to say no. However, no happens sometimes, and that's okay. Because remember, it might not be the right time for people, or they just might not want this opportunity, and that's okay too. So typically, when I ask someone if they want to go to an opportunity event, I don't just say like, hey, oh, it's so good to meet you today. Do you want to come to an opportunity event? I don't really say that because I feel like you're not going to get as many yeses or as many sures. But as you start to create these relationships with people and you get to know them like VIPs, or even you have friends on Facebook and they are consistently the ones that are like maybe complaining about money or not being able to purchase something, or you find that they're maybe even asking for a lot of help in certain scenarios, that's a great opportunity to message that person and just say, hey, I don't know if you know, but I am a Jamberry consultant. I don't even know if you know what Jamberry is. But we're having an opportunity event, and I've noticed lately, you mentioned something about money. Well, this is a great opportunity to make some extra money. So the opportunity event runs until, from X date to X date. It may or may not be for you, but I would love to invite you. How's that sound? Sure. Okay. Great. They might even be like, opportunity for what? What's Jamberry? And then worst case scenario, if they say no to the opportunity or the opportunity event, you can be like, okay, well, you said you didn't know what Jamberry was, so I want to send you a sample and see what you think about it. So it's kind of a good lead-in to trying out the product too. So opportunity events, I feel like are a lot easier to ask people to go to than to just automatically join. What I really try to use as far as wording goes is, this could or could not be for you, but go. Check it out, and if it's not for you, you might know someone who it might be a great fit for or a great opportunity for. So you're already getting them thinking, okay, this might not be a good fit for me, so she's telling me it's okay if I tell her it's not a good opportunity when I follow up with her. But you're already getting them thinking, okay, as I'm looking through this information, who might this be a great fit for? And I think that is really also a huge opportunity that we sometimes miss, is getting that referral or getting them to connect you to somebody who it actually might be a good fit for. I need to not do these at the end of the night. I feel like my brain is drained. But sneak peeks are the same way. So as soon as you hear kind of that I call it kind of almost like a buying signal of someone who, hey Dawn, buying signal of someone who, they say kind of the main things. They hate their job is a great one. They want to stay home with their kids more. They want to earn extra money. They want a new hobby. They want a way to meet new friends. Even they just moved. Girl, you just moved. Do you know a lot of people where you live? No, I don't really know a lot of people where I live. Well, I'm having an opportunity event, and Jamberry has been a great way for me to meet new people. I would love to share what I do with you, and it may or may not be for you, but I would love for you to come check it out. And, if it's not for you, you might even know someone it would be a good fit for. How's that sound? Can I send you an invite? Sure. I'm telling you, they say sure or okay like 9 times out of 10. One, people have a hard time saying no, so they're just nice and they say sure or okay. And then they go and they may not look, but they still said sure or okay. So in my mind, that is meaning that they're a little bit interested in the opportunity, or they're curious to see what I'm doing. So if you guys are new, this is a sneak peeks and opportunity event. So like adding people to your team page to check out information, or adding them to like a structured opportunity event is such a great way, because you don't know everything. And sometimes it's easier to be like, you know what? I'm going to add you to this opportunity event so you can see what I'm doing. That way, if you have any questions, you can answer them there, because I don't really know everything yet. I'm kind of new, but you can share your excitement with them. So when you're new, when you invite people to an opportunity event, you almost have like 3 different ways that you could invite people. One is, hey, I think that you would be amazing at this. I just started this opportunity. I would love to do this with you. There is, we're doing sneak peek on my team page. I would love to invite you so you can see the support I have. You can see all of these amazing women and get some of your questions answered. They may not even have any questions because they may not even know that they're interested. But giving them a compliment of, hey, I think you'd be really great at this, and I just started this and I want to do this with you, piques people's interest. They're like, okay, like I want to see what it's about. If you think I'd be if you think I'd be good at this. A second way is, hey, I just started this opportunity and I've already made X amount of dollars in this amount of time, or I've been able to accomplish these things in this amount of time. I know that you've mentioned, you haven't been able to go to the movies, take your kids to the movies, or that you were tight on money so you weren't able to hang out with the girls, or you have to really listen to hear those like buying, I don't want to call them buying signals, but those cues of that people could really use this opportunity. The more you listen, the more you're going to pick up on them, and the more you're going to be able to say, hey, like this actually could be a really good opportunity for you. So when you're new, you can say, yeah, I've done all these things. You kind of list all these accomplishments that you've already accomplished in a short amount of time. And you can invite them based on things that they've told you, or, if you're really good friends with them, things that you think that they might be able to benefit from this opportunity. So those are some ways to utilize the opportunity event and that third-party tool when you're new. Sneak peeks are really good too on the team page. Just because it's casual, they can like pop in, they can see conversations, it's not structured at all. Most of our teams have like an album of information that you can tag them in, and then it's kind of an easy follow-up. So I'm trying to think what else as far as the opportunity event goes, but so with the opportunity event and third-party tools, every time we talked about this in the sales challenge and the booking challenge. Every time someone wins something in any of my parties, I have them fill out a form. And on that form, every single form that I have for people to fill out, whether it be samples, whether it be for vendor events, whether it be at home parties, there's always a question for, do you look for ways of earning extra income? You guys know that's my go-to question. Do you look for ways of earning extra income? And if someone would have asked me that, I would have said no, because at the time I didn't really need extra income. I just needed to feel fulfilled. But most people look for ways of earning extra income. I don't know the statistic, but like a crazy percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So who doesn't look for extra income or ways of earning extra income. So all of those people that mark yes or maybe, I want more information, those are also people that I invite to every single opportunity event that we have. And our team has one structured every single month. So we have one usually that first week of every single month, for at least for the past 2 months, and they're scheduled out for the rest of the year. But opportunity events, it's huge. It's a great way for you guys to be able to, like I said, provide them information. But you have to we talked about the funnel yesterday of your seeds, asking the question, moving them to a specific third-party tool. To move them to that tool, you just have to ask and figure out different ways to ask. And those forms in the parties are a very passive way of asking, but I'm still asking. And especially if people aren't one to like have a conversation with you via Facebook, it's a great way. And especially if you're newer and you feel uncomfortable asking, like, hey, I would really love for you to do this opportunity with me. Come to this opportunity event. They're already marking on this form maybe or yes. So it's an easier conversation starter also of, hey girl, you marked yes, or maybe she marked maybe. Maybe you look for ways of earning extra income depending on what it is. Give me more information. So if they mark yes or maybe, it's such an easy conversation starter. Hey, you marked yes. My team is having an opportunity event. I would love for you to get your questions answered, get more information, and then we can talk about, if this is going to be a good fit for you. Right there, I'm telling her that I care if it's going to be a good fit for her, that I'm just not trying to funnel her into some opportunity that she's going to get, bamboozled, because that's obviously not what our team is about. So those are some things that I really like to ask. There's also another thing that I had been talking to Erin about recently, and they were some really great interview questions. So these would be questions that you could ask someone after they utilize your third-party tool. So after you invited them to the opportunity event, they said yes, they went, you're going to follow up with them. Sometimes I feel like we don't know what to say when we follow up with them, like, hey, how did you like the opportunity event? And they're going to be like, it was great. And you're like, well, shoot, that didn't answer if they want to join or not, or if they're like serious about it. So here are some great questions, and I will post these in the comments. But a really good follow-up is, what piqued your interest about Jamberry, or what originally piqued your interest about Jamberry? So usually when people say yes, that they want more information, or yes, they want to attend your opportunity event or sneak peek, there's a reason. Like there's a curiosity about something that they want to know. So what was it? And you can even ask them like that, what made you curious about wanting more information? Another great question is, how do you see this fitting into what you do? Or how do you see this fitting into your life now that you know more information? Obviously asking them how much would they like to earn is good, just to make sure that they have the right expectations. I really love asking people, do you see this opportunity being able to change the quality of your life somehow? You can also ask that at the beginning to invite them to the opportunity event. I would love to invite you to this opportunity event. I would love for you to be able to see if somehow this opportunity could change the quality of your life in some capacity. And they're like, I want to change the quality of my life. I want my life to be better. Because at the end of the day, we don't go to bed thinking about nail stickers or what color polish we're going to put on tomorrow. We think about how we're going to pay our bills. And if your son wants to go to karate, how are you going to afford it? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, and just that $100 or $200 extra a month could really change the quality of your family's life if you can't afford karate and your son wants to go to karate. So, another great question, this is an amazing one, is after you follow up with them from the opportunity event, is saying, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being this isn't a great fit and 10 being I want to start today, where are you? Like, where do you feel like you are on that scale of 1 to 10? And that way you can really see, is this something that they're serious about? You know, is it just maybe they're serious, but it's just not the right time? Or maybe they tell you they're a 7 and then they have a bunch of excuses or obstacles that you have to overcome. Or maybe they tell you they're a 10, but they don't want to start today because, you know, they give you all of these reasons. And then at least internally, you know that your heart isn't set on having them start tomorrow. Like, you're not like, oh my gosh, this person is going to start and then I'm going to hit my fast start and I'm so excited. And then in reality, the person was really like a 5 and they don't want to start. And then you're like, oh, no. So those are some good questions to ask after the opportunity event. And those are even some questions that you can ask before you even invite someone to the opportunity event. You know, you could sprinkle those questions. If you do online Facebook parties and you do like coffee talk in the morning or coffee chat, those are some good questions. Like, if you made $200 a month, how would that change the quality of your life? You know, right now with what you know about Jamberry, what really piques your interest? Or if it's like the last question of the week, you could ask something like, seeing what I've done all week, is this something that you feel like you could do? What is your favorite thing, you know, about this party? Or what's your favorite thing that you've learned about Jamberry so far? And you can kind of gauge to see if they're interested or they have any interest or not at all. So there's lots of ways and lots of obviously different wording combinations. My dog is whining for some reason. But lots of different wording combinations about how just to invite someone to the opportunity event. So don't feel like you're ever doing it wrong. There's no right way to do it. Make sure it's comfortable for you, and you'll really find something that flows, and you'll start to get really used to it, and then you'll start finding yourself saying it the same way every time, and that's okay as long as it's the same situation every time. Make sure that you're changing it up how you invite people to the sneak peek or the opportunity event, and the more personal you can make it, obviously the better you're going to make them feel, and more excited that you're going to make them feel, because they won't feel like they're just getting sold to on this opportunity, you know, that you want to get them started and then you're not going to help them. But my dog's crying. I'm going to go let him out.